All right, everybody. Sorry about that. We are back and we're live. I've got Crypto Shinobi with me for this live stream. Let me just get the chit chatter back up so that we can kind of connect the community a little bit. So just give me 1 second and we should be good to go. All right, we should be good to go now. Yeah, man. So what we were talking about when before we, got interrupted or whatever, we were talking about like you kind of seeing the ABOT code.
Yeah,
you did see a portion of it, and also we were about to get into a little bit about your background and what gave you kind of the authority to be able to kind of say, yeah, this is code or this is not code or whatever. So let's just cover that again because we got, interrupted or cut off or whatever. So you saw a portion of the ABOT code. You basically were like, this is amazing, whatever. So you kind of like just go through, like, okay, you saw the code and maybe explain to the people, like, a little bit about your background to be able to give you the authority to speak on.
Yeah. So for starters, I've always been in the IT world. So I started at a very young age with computers and coding back in the 80s. I did C++, C, Java, Perl, PHP, the whole lot. It's been a while since I actively coded because I started up my own company and I actually do expert security consulting and advisory for big corporations. But I still work in code as reviewing it. So the portion of the code that I saw was actually the function to have the automatic trading triggered. I just saw the function and I know it's legit because I know the programming language. What I didn't see were the parameters. So like I was saying earlier, it's like, there's sugar in a Coke, but you don't ask Coca-Cola for the entire recipe because that's actually a secret, which has to be respected, of course. And what I was explaining as well is that in crypto, everybody's about, it's freedom. You can do whatever you want. It's open source for a lot of part of it. And most post their code on GitHub. But in certain areas, you just can't do it because it's really something unique and people can actually, steal it or copy it or whatever. And you have to take that into account that it's actually a company. It's a full-blown company running. It's not just a smart contract or an open source software that needs to be reviewed by the community. So that's something that people need to take into account.
Yeah, because a lot of people, when they look at arbitrary, it looks so much like, I don't know, like a BitConnect, or it looks so much like a lending platform, or it looks so much like, like a scam or whatever, Okay, so the biggest argument in the crypto space right now towards arbitraging is that people label it a scam because they refuse to show the bot. But, you've seen a portion of the code. So what would you say? What would you say to people that have that argument? Because arbitraging is just not going to come out and say, okay, here's our source code. Here's the code for the bot. Because you're right, people can steal and copy it. What would you say to those people?
Well, I know BitConnect. I know all the other platforms as well. And as most people, we tried, we failed, sometimes epically and sometimes not that epically. But It is entirely different in a sense. It's like, first of all, it's not multi-level marketing. That's the first thing. Also, referrals, for instance, aren't paid by the company. It's actually paid by the one you refer, which is a big difference, in my opinion. And what there also is that a lot of people say, okay, yeah, with the most Ponzi schemes, they lock your capital or your seed money. There was a time in arbitraging that it was entirely free to go in, go out whenever you wanted to. But unfortunately, not everybody has good intentions, so they were actually misusing everything. And I think it was a wise move to look, get the metrics, do the analysis on all the data, and adapt. It's only by adapting to current situation that a company can become very successful. For instance, if McDonald's always had the same special burgers, they wouldn't be in business very long, because people won't be keep eating those same burgers. I mean, they have to change it up. They have to go forward. You have it's a stupid comparison, but the cash registers, they don't use the cash registers anymore. Now you have the touch screens where you can actually point your burger and choose what's on it and all that stuff. It's very important that every company moves forward, goes forward, at the same time listen to their customer base. And in my opinion, that's what they did. They're not going to implement everything that we're shouting, you have to do this, you have to do that. You have to take into account that with every decision they make, there are like 100 or 200 consequences in code, in sustainability, in possibilities, even technically. And the way they're handling it, I agree. A lot of people say the same thing. Communication was a big problem in the past, which is being worked on. But that's with every company. I mean, give me one company that goes from startup to a multi-million-dollar company within a year and has everything set in stone, their framework okay, their base okay, their code base okay. Not one. There's not one company. Look at Microsoft. They're still effing around with their code. So you really have to take into account that this company is only a year old, and what they have done is amazing. It really is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So when it comes to like validating software, because you're from the IT industry, so you can talk on this. You know, you're an authority on it because that's your career and your background, your expertise, right? Gives you a bit of an authority to talk about it. So when it comes to like validating, software having some validity to it, what about the process where companies get vetted and companies get kind of like determined, okay, this is like certified as legitimate code, legitimate piece of software. This is what it actually does. They are doing what it says it does. Can you touch on that?
Yeah, so basically I'll first explain how actual software development works in cycles. So there are different ways of developing software. So you have what they call that they work in sprints, that they develop over a time period of 2 weeks. They come up with an idea, get the requirements, see what they need on an infrastructural basis, on a software basis, and within those 2 weeks they put up deliverables. Another way of doing it is that they code a certain part, and that gets released. So that's your first version. But before you get to your first version, you have the coding itself, then you have the validating, then you have your quality assurance testing, you have release candidates, you have management that has to approve it. There's a whole lot you have to go through, and have to take into account as well that while you're building software, there will always be something that'll set you back. It's not perfect from the first time. It could be in the beginning, like a certain function doesn't work, or all the way at the end with the release candidate, they do their last testing. It's like, oh, darn, this doesn't work. We have to go back and try it again. So that, in my opinion, is also what happened with a few of the delays we had in the past with releasing the new updates and all that stuff. Also keep in mind that testing is a very specific field of expertise. I know several people that are in the testing world, and if you see what kind of tools that they have available and what they have to custom build to test and penetration test and code review, it's tremendous. And then sometimes you see teams of like 20, 30, 40 people going at it for a week, and then those results need to be parsed, checked, and analyzed, and they have to act on it. And then they have to catalog them as, okay, that's a low risk, that's a medium risk, that's a high risk, that's a critical risk. In any case, if there's one high or one critical, it's back to the drawing board. And I would rather have what they do now is like go back, start over, or do something else, or review it, instead of releasing a product that the people are waiting for but might have bugs and might put your account into jeopardy, which is not the case. Because security, I'm much more into security than software development, and I can tell you that security is a-okay over there.
Yeah. Okay. So when you're talking about security, you just said A-OK. Are you talking about arbitraging here?
I'm talking about arbitraging. Yeah. Like the website, the infrastructure they use, the networking, the firewalls. I don't have all the details, but I've been talking to David, and there is stuff that I know how it's set up, and I was giving some input as well on did you think of this, did you think of that, and they have really, really skilled people over there. Yeah,
that's really assuring to know, because investor money investor accounts, all that kind of thing. People want to be assured that their stuff's, safe pretty much. And, it's good to know, because people, investors and stuff, and people have a right to know, well, to question things, which is fine.
of course.
It's fine. People have that right to want to question, make sure that, are my funds safe? Are things really on the up and up? And all that kind of thing. And I think it would be really good, to bring more transparency into the future, much more transparency into the future for, just the general crypto public, and arbitraging investors would be really good. I have done a fair bit of transparency, David showed his space, all that kind of thing. He invited people to his house, but, it's at a point now where people are kind of like, we want more than just that, which I can understand where people are coming from.
Yeah, I can understand that as well, because as you know, I'm in the chats a lot on Telegram. I don't always type a lot, but I do try to read everything, and there is transparency. I mean, there are some lines. David just pops up out of nowhere. He drops a few lines, and then he's gone again. Yeah. But for people who are not on Telegram the entire time, those messages get buried, and although they're being transparent, it's not somewhere where it's like pinned or centralized, where people can look up everything that's been said or everything that's been shared with the community. So that's maybe a point that they can take into account to do, which they are actually doing now with all the pinned messages. But there is a lot of transparency, and I've seen messages go by, but like yeah, I want to see proof of ABOT or proof of MBOT. Actually, there has been. Months and months and months ago, there was a live stream where there was a live session on how the MBOT works, which is basically also part of how the ABOT works. But it gets buried and people forget. And in crypto, everything goes so quick that people actually need to be reminded like every 2, 3, 4 days.
Yes. You're right about that. You're right about that. Yeah, so ABOT's going to be coming back within, they said yesterday, it was yesterday my time. It was really, I think, late afternoon for me, around 5, 6 o'clock. Which
something
is
like that.
14, or say, something like that, 14 hours or something ago. That they said, within 48 hours, coming back, and then they're going to release information about ABOT gas and stuff. Well, it's going to be interesting to see how all that ABOT gas component is gonna work. So it's gonna be definitely interesting. Let's answer this question like here by Crypto Bot in the chat saying, why did they not put that level of assurance before releasing the license as then they known it was a defect SAV1? Look, let's touch on it a little bit. First and foremost, David stated very clearly that the license wasn't required. That particular license that they applied for wasn't required in the BVI. Now, of course, okay, yes, it should have been checked for its validity and all that kind of thing. Absolutely, 100%, totally agree with that. Was complete balls up, plus, not good, but, they came out and explained that, David came out and explained that that particular license wasn't really required. That was something that they were going to have, in the future.
Yeah, that's right. So
explain. Yeah.
Yeah, the license was actually as part of good faith towards the community. I don't know the exact details, but I can imagine what happened is that in most cases, you can or apply yourself for all the licenses and all the administrative stuff, which is like tons of work. And he doesn't sleep as it is. So he probably used an agent, and not to point fingers, but I think the agent kind of effed him over. So yeah, it's a shame it happened. It's a shame it wasn't validated. It's something that in every company has a big whiteboard that has lessons learned. I think that's one that's on the top at the moment, because that was a very, very unfortunate thing that happened.
Yeah, totally. I mean, wasn't good. That wasn't good. But hopefully it's a very big lesson learned, and that they can definitely learn from that. So
yeah, definitely.
So I hope that kind of answers that. But clearly David stated the license wasn't required. It wasn't a requirement.
No.
So yeah. But I mean, if that's not a satisfactory question, a satisfactory answer, well, that's all I got for you. So
that's all I got as well. So
yeah, getting back to the ABOT and the gas and stuff. Did David kind of mention to you at all when you conversated with him anything about the gas at all?
No, we didn't touch that topic. So what I did see was in the chat, I don't even know if it was from the development, Majaz or David, or somebody in the community suggesting it, but I think it was going to be similar to the MBOT gas, that like you fill up your gas tank and every day your ABOT is active, it takes a little bit out of the gas tank and you will have to refill it after a certain amount of time. But there's no indication on how much it'll be. I don't think it's going to be much in all fairness. I mean, if you have like a $10,000 ABOT, they can hardly ask you for $10,000 a day to run it. So, I mean, that would be ridiculous. So it'll be a small fraction. And I think it's just, I think it's not carved in stone or anything, but I think it will be like a few percent of what your ABOT value is, and then it'll just go up like that. Well, I don't know. We'll see.
And nobody really knows for sure until the official information comes out. Exactly. Now, what I will say, and I'm going to, what I will say, and I'm going to talk a little bit about it. And hello to everybody that's here in the live stream right now. Thank you very much for being here. So I've got Crypto Shinobi with me today. We're just talking about, a few different things. We've already touched on the ABOT code and the portion that he was privy to see. And we've touched on, how auditing certification works. We're touching on ABOT and ABOT gas. Now, I had a conversation with David about, month and a half, 2 months ago, and he was kind of throwing around the idea. This is just to give you guys just a little bit of an idea according to the conversation that I had with David. But please don't take this as gospel, okay? Don't take it as this is, 100% what it's going to be, because we all don't know what it's going to be, all right? So I'm only going to just tell you what my conversation, kind of was around the gas. So there will be a gas tank, for example, $50,000 ABOT, up to $50,000 ABOT. Think about it like this, okay? You run your car on petrol, ethanol, gas, whatever, and you pay, $50 for a full tank of gas or petrol, okay, or diesel or whatever. And then that gives your car X amount of miles to run. So, or kilometers or whatever language you want to talk in. So, for example, a dollar will get you, 1 liter. 1 liter might get you, 30 kilometers. Okay, so think about it in that kind of language. Now, the conversation was for 50,000. Now, don't take it as this is going to 100% be, but $50 would be suffice for a $50,000 ABOT. Along those kind of lines, right? But that doesn't mean that that's set in stone, because when it comes out, it might be, different from what I'm saying. But it was kind of along those lines that was the conversation that I had with David a while back. So who knows how that's going to happen? But there'll be a gas there. What I will say is there will be a gas tank, and you will have to use, I believe it's going to be the ARB token to fill up the gas tank, So, say $1 to every 1,000 that you've got in your ABOT. So if it's $25,000 bot, it'd be $25 a day, along those kind of lines, just to give you a kind of a random idea how it's going to work. But it could be different from that. So just that's a bit of an idea.
Yeah, that's what I heard in the same line approximately. What does have to be said is that, like with all the automation going on the platform, we have the automatic ETH payout, we have the Pro Plus. Those are like very nifty features. But for the ABOT gas, that's something you will have to log on and fill up again, which in my opinion is the very, very best move that they could do to keep the customers or investors, the way you want to see it, on the platform and up to date, and don't forget about it. You have to have involvement of your investors, of your customer base, and only then you can create a community that is actually one or is one with the company.
Yeah. So, the end of the day, gas is going to be, I personally believe that, this is my own opinion, all right? It's my opinion, so I'm allowed to say my opinion. I think that ABOT gas is actually going to be a good thing for the platform. And here's why. Because it's going to help with sell pressure. Because the less tokens that are on the internal exchange, the better it's going to be, because it'll be less sell pressure. It will actually relieve sell pressure from the internal exchange. So, I mean, really, if you're making like, I don't know, $200 a day and it's costing you $25, I really don't think that it's really a big price to pay.
It's like shut up and take my money.
It's just a rough estimation. $30 a day to make 100, you make $200 a day, and then you're paying such a free money. It's not free money, but it's, you know what I'm saying? It's not that big a price to pay in a big scheme.
It's also something that a lot of people need to take into account, is that for a company to survive, they have to have cash flow, and to have cash flow, you need to have fees. The people who are coding, they need to be paid. It's their living. It's what they do. It's their job. And I think like small fees, like 0.5% on the exchange, for instance, is not a lot. Try and sell on Coinbase, and you'll be gone with your entire hand and an arm before you get your money on your bank account. The part that undercutting is penalized with a higher percentage fee, it's not actually the first platform or exchange that does that. All the major platforms do that as well. You also have the market maker bonuses. Big platforms and exchanges do that as well. So they didn't do all that in the beginning, but eventually all those features came along, and it is necessary. I don't see the big guys like a Binance or a Bittrex get rid of all their fees, because then they can just stop. They can close the site. It's done. They're broke. Finito. So if they allow us to make profits on what we put into the platform, and we are able to get that cash out once a week, once a month, every day, I don't care. I am happy to pay that fee to make sure that platform is around for the coming years.
I think it's a good thing for the sustainability of there is kind of an argument. Why do they need to charge these fees if they have legit trading bots? Why do we need these fees, these gas fees, if there's legit trading bot when they don't really, need it? At the end of the day, man, I mean, the company puts in all this hard work. The developers put in all this hard work. They deserve it, man. They deserve it.
Definitely. Yeah. And not everybody is in, but that's another point. Not everybody is in ABOT. Not everybody is on the internal exchange. So they have to spread their fees over all the modules they have on their platform to make sure that anybody who is using it is actually contributing to the developers who actually built the thing.
Yeah. Now, I'm wondering, the question on everybody's lips as well is, I'm wondering what arbitraging is going to do in relation to the price difference between the ABOT price and then when you go to currently sell on the internal exchange? Because realistically, it's one thing to say, okay, well, you shouldn't really sell below the ABOT price, but in reality is people are going to do that. People are going to do it. Like, they're going to want to take their profits. They're going to want to go and sell on the internal exchange. They want to get that passive daily income. So I'm going to be an interested stand buyer to watch and see what's going to actually go on in relation to that. Is that going to change when the ABOT comes back? How is that all going to work? It's going to be interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's I'm actually curious about that part as well. And I've sent a couple messages to David with some ideas on that, to relieve the sell pressure and have the price grow organically. Like we had the ETH payout for the first $10,000, which is like 3/4 of all the ABOTs that are on the platform. What if now with the ABOT gas and the fees that are on there, if they can calculate it correctly, who says it can go to the first 20,000 or go down to 5,000? It's something they need to see, and that's also why it always takes a while to implement these new features or structures in payments and fees, because they need like weeks of data to make sure that in every scenario they don't hurt the platform. So the first ETH payout at $10,000, that was a great move. So what actually happened is what they used as buyback before, they switched to what the community asked for. They wanted an Ethereum payout, so they got an Ethereum payout. Okay, there's a fee you have to pay for it. It was like 25% of your profit, which in my opinion is not much for all the functionality you get. Okay, it's 1/4 of your profit, but keep in mind that if you don't do that, you have to transfer that, you have to go to the internal exchange, you have to put in a limit order, or you just say, the hell with it, I sell to the buy side or the sell side, you get the extra fees, you pay under the ABOT price. So in any way, you are going to pay a fee somehow. And if you want the automation tools in the IT world are very expensive. So I don't think a 25% cut on having like free Ethereum in your wallet is too much.
No, it's a very interesting concept for sure, because people just want that ETH, that's for sure. All right, so what else can we talk about here today? We know that the auction is coming, the ABOT auction. That's going to be very interesting. There are people that are just going to want to get out of UB. That's fine if that's what they want to do. Having the auction is going to be a viable way to do that. I mean, realistically, let's touch on this, okay? You get a guy or a girl that comes into arbitraging, spends like a couple of grand, and then ends up with an ABOT that's like 50 grand or 100 grand, but yet they've been in the platform for 9 months. They made all this daily profit. I'm just throwing numbers around. I'm not, don't take it like this is just a scenario I'm making up here. But you got someone that's made X amount of money from daily ROI, and then you got this bot's left 50 grand, and that really only paid 2 grand and made all their money back over and over and over and over and over. It's going to be interesting to see how that's going to work.
Yeah, like you said, if those people or there are certain individuals made their ROI out several times, it would be interesting to see what the price would be they would sell for. If it's like if it's an auction, we both don't know what the actual functionality of the the auction is going to be. But let's say that it has to be on for 7 days and people can bid on that certain account, and it goes up, 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 up with every bid that goes up, and at a certain point in time the timer goes down and you'll be able to get that ABOT for that amount of money. Another thing which would not be good, in my opinion, is that the people who want to sell their ABOT through an auction is that they can set their own price. Like if you say you have a $50,000 ABOT, they put in $9,000 of their own, they got out $25,000 or even more, and they could even sell it for $1,000, and that wouldn't be right in my opinion. And there has to be some mechanism that ensures that the value of the ABOT isn't devalued too much.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be interesting to see how that's all gonna play out and work. Kind of makes sense the way that you explain that. So, because me and you, we don't know how that's all going to work. You know, we're not privy to that sort of information right now. I mean, I haven't spoken to David in probably 2 weeks, to be really honest with everybody. So I don't know how that's going to work.
Yeah, I heard him. I think
about
a week ago, and just asked him how he was, and he said he was good. He was busy, but that was about it. It's been a while as well.
Yeah. I mean, I sent him a message and he didn't even reply to it because they've been probably so busy.
Oh yeah, they've been busy.
No, we're not saying that at all, Matt. You're Matt. You know, not saying that at all. We're just.
No, we were speculating, kind of throwing out ideas. Yeah. But Matt, for instance, if you have like a $50,000 ABOT or a $10,000 ABOT, you put in like $200 or $1,000, and you get your return on investment back threefold or four times. There is. If you just put it up for sale, there is nothing that prevents you that you can say, okay, I don't care about my ABOT. I just want $100 for it and I'm out. That wouldn't be good for the platform, in my opinion. It would be better, like for instance, if they put up the ABOT for auction, they say, okay, there's a timer, 7 days, and people can bid on it, and the highest bidder wins by the end of the 7 days. For instance, it's just an example.
Yeah, I have to, and here is what I think is going to happen. I honestly think there will be some disgruntled people with arbitraging that are definitely going to want to get out, which is fine. I don't blame them to a degree. I don't. Because everything that's gone on the last 2 months, you know, I kind of, in some ways, you know, I'm not trying to be, you know, negative or bad or funny. I'm just being realistic. I don't blame them in some ways because of all the shit that's gone on with the block exchange and, you know, ABOT being taken offline, even though that was necessary. You know, so I understand. I'm not trying to be, you know, fuddy or whatever. I'm just playing devil's advocate a little bit in that. So, you know, people can, you know, get out if that's what they really desire to do. Do I think a lot will want to sell their ABOTs? I don't think so. I think we'll get a percentage. Let's say, for example, if you know, if it's true that 75% of bots are under like 10 grand, and then the other 25% is over 10,000, we might see a small percentage of people wanting to get out. But I think it's not going to be. I don't think it's going to be a lot. I think people are going to be pleasantly surprised to see that people are going to continue to support arbitraging. There will be some that go. and that's fine, like if that's what people want to do, there'll be an option, as that has been said in the updates, for you to go.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
No grudges, no grudging, nothing. Yeah.
No, there's also the mentality. There's also the mentality in the crypto space that you get in, take your profit, and get out as soon as possible. And
yes.
I think a lot of people got into arbitraging. I'm not pointing fingers or anything. It's just something that I think, because arbitraging is the first platform that was actually different in a way that it was built for long-term investments and not like swing trading, day trading, or a platform where you go in, get your profit, and get out. It's different, and people need to have that mentality switch. It'll take a while, and there will be people who are not happy. You can't please everybody, and they will get out. Fine. I mean, it's a free world. You can invest everywhere you want, and if the platform is not for you, you can get out and go elsewhere. The people who choose to stay in, they stay in. Simple as that.
Yes. I think that the auction is actually a good thing, because I know several friends of mine that I've been talking to in private for a while, who have some baller money.
Mm-hmm.
Did I just say that? They have some money. Baller. So they have some money that they are considering putting into ARB. And I think this might actually be a good way for them to enter this market, to get in and buy it, auction on an ABOT that they can step in and get it at a bargain price. I mean, I think, I think it's a great idea, a great initiative. I wonder how it's going to play out though when it comes to auctioned ABOT as opposed or versus the internal exchange, and how that's all going to work. Because if people can just go and buy ABOTs, then why go to the exchange and buy tokens, kind of thing. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. And the nice part about arbitraging as well is like I said, I got in at ICO. I was lucky to be in the ICO. I set up an account for my dad. I actually set it up for him as a retirement fund. I have several work colleagues that are in it. We have a separate group in which I help them get their strategies right and explain what crypto is. There are people in there who have never been in crypto. My wife has one. I helped other people with it, and they're all amazed at what it is, and the reactions of people that were not in crypto before. It's like, oh, is it that easy? I didn't know it. And is it illegal? Is it legal? It's like, no, it's not illegal. You just have to declare your taxes of all the profits you get. That's all you have to do. There's a lot of people in the world who are not knowledgeable of what's happening in crypto space and are actually afraid of it, which is a shame. But it'll take a couple of years, and you will see more and more people just getting into the crypto world.
Yeah, I think a couple of years. I think you're right. I think we're going to see, more and more of the crypto space being ironed out. Like, it'll just get better and better with time. It's kind of like a wine. With wine, some wines just get better with time. So I think that's going to be like crypto. But I think in relation to like crypto taxes and stuff like that, I think we're going to see, like, in the future, we're going to see, a reprieve in that area. I think is the government's kind of learn more and more about blockchain technology and the adoption of crypto. we step into mass adoption. I think we'll see more and more tax reprieves when it comes to crypto down the track. And also I think we will see, that governments will go, okay, look at the benefits of this blockchain technology and how we can use it in modern day society. I think it's gonna get better and better down the track.
Oh yeah, definitely. It'll take a while, but we'll get there. It's a lot of companies are already busy with it. I know certain corporations in Europe are already looking into blockchain and cryptocurrencies. But they're still in the early days. They also need to make sure that it can be used with all the systems and software they have available right now on which their company runs, which is not easy in integrating new technology. That'll take a couple of years. Yeah, but eventually, yeah, it would be good. It would be very good. I want to touch back on the part of the ABOTs and the people who get in. The people who want to learn about cryptocurrency and learn about trading and other tokens and all that stuff. Arbitraging is in that way also an ideal platform that, like, you invest your money, you have it in the ABOT, you get your daily profit, you just take that out, you grow it with 25 or 50% reinvest, and eventually you'll have a little bit cash over, which you can actually use to learn how cryptocurrency works, explore other tokens, go onto an exchange, learn what a trade is, learn to diversify. I'm always for diversification. Must say, arbitraging is one of my biggest investments, but I also diversify. You never know what will happen in the future. You never know. And you have to make sure that you don't hurt yourself. So people taking loans to get into cryptocurrency is very, very risky. I would not advise it. I would also not advise taking your food money every month and putting it in cryptocurrency in the hope it'll boom again like it did a couple of years back. If you do that, it won't. You will just get eaten up by the whales and all the manipulators out there. You just have to learn it slowly, do some paper trades, and then eventually use with small amounts like $200 here, $200 there. And then you'll learn it and take into account it'll take you a year, 2 years, but be patient, show no emotion, and have a strategy, put it on a post-it note and stick it on your screen and never deviate.
Yeah, it's good advice. Good advice for people listening out here. In the live stream, we got around 93 people in here in the stream, which is nice. Thank you so much, guys, for your support. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Crypto Shinobi with me today, shooting a breeze. And so, the other thing I think I want to touch on, actually, Sam Hines, who's in here. Hello, Sam. Touched on it. He said, that maybe with the upgrades and the patches and stuff, we might see the return of the 0.8% days. We might see the return of higher percentages with the updates, the patches, the upgrades and stuff. Some of us out here are thinking like it's doom and gloom and it's just all, going to be bad news and it's going to be, all doom and gloom, and it's just going to be all haircuts and styling like a pink haircut, the singer Pink haircut. It's going to be all like really bad news. But like if they're taking the ABOT offline and they're maintaining it, and who knows, we might be pleasantly surprised to see that maybe the payout percentage might actually go up rather than going down. We might see like a rebirth of the glory days, of better payouts percentages. You just don't know what's going to get rolled out.
Yeah, and you don't even know what they're doing to the ABOT code. I mean, they could easily be fine-tuning it, adding new features in the background that will allow higher percentage trades or more trades in the same period, which will allow the percentage to go up. There's one thing we need to take into account is that when the market is going sideways, it's very hard to make good arbitraging opportunities because there's not enough liquidity or enough volume. And at the same time, you have to think about when the emotional side, when people start yelling, oh no, it's going to go down, it's going to go down, we're all going to die. Well, that's actually the moment you need to buy everything you can, because the more people that say it's dead, it's done, it's over, it's going to be gone, that's when people are in despair and are just dumping their wallets onto the market. And that's actually the time you could try and play around with crypto, buy a little bit here, buy a little bit there. And if you're patient, it'll go up. Crypto is here to stay. I mean, we have 2,000 tokens in currencies at the moment. There are tons of big companies like IBM and everybody going into blockchain, working with cryptocurrency. It's not going anywhere. It's just pure emotions.
Yeah, have to agree with that because, anytime, you want to make money, and this is kind of how like a lot of whales do it is, negativity. They'll, crypto's dead. You see it in the media like all the time, like negativity, drives down pricing. And, they low enough, they'll just scoop up like all the little fishies, they'll say, thank you very much, little fishies, for, the cheap stocks or whatever. The whales want to buy up, and then they come in, they scoop up everything really cheap.
Yeah, they do. And then they change the news around and everybody gets the FOMO, it kicks in, and then all the news starts and, oh, it's good and it's going to go up and up and up and up and up, and that's when the whales dump on you. So it's just a cycle. In economy itself, it's a 7-year cycle. So crypto goes like 100,000 times quicker, but it's always the same cycle. You go up, you go down, you go up, you go down, and you have to recognize that pattern. And if you recognize it and you can play into it, you can become very successful. Am I successful in it? No, I lost a lot of money as well. I won a lot of money as well. It's a learning curve. It's not something that you do every hour after your day job and just go, oh, I see a nice arch, it's going down, and I see a triangular and the Fibonacci retracement is there. Okay, I'll put my buy order there. And then when you wake up in the morning, it's like, oh, darn, they got me. You have to be busy with it like 24/7 in crypto. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I like swing trading. I definitely don't do it on swing trade exchange and stuff and make bags of money if I want to do that. I can do it if I want to do it. I just choose not to do it. I could do it if I really want to, and I'll make plenty of money. Doing that. People say, well, why don't you swing trade? You make good money, and I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to disturb the internal exchange more than what it's already disturbed. I want to swing trade. I'll do that with real crypto.
Yeah, I do. I usually, if I do something like that, I do that with like the top 10 cryptocurrencies, and it's not that I'm day trading, I'm swing trading. So I usually don't pull up charts for 1 minute or 5 minutes. I usually use 4-hour or daily charts, and then I just look at a couple of indicators. I put in my limits and stop losses, and I'll leave them there, and I come back in a few days and I'll see if they got triggered. I used to do it in day trading daily for hours on end, but that's the only way you learn. And once you learn how to do it, you can just set it, forget it, and come back.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to talk about how to swing trade because I don't want to put ideas people's heads here, but yeah, it's yeah. Anyway, I'll shut up now.
Yeah, we're getting off
I'll stop.
topic. But it is very interesting to do it. It's very complex and it's very challenging, and it certainly tickles the brain. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's fascinating. Crypto is a fascinating, fascinating industry to be in. You know, it's revolutionary. It's cutting edge. It's going to eventually change the entire world. It's going to be like the internet, the way the internet was, and the .com boom, and social media, and all those things, man. It's just the next evolution in technology. It's just another piece of stroke of brilliance of technology coming down the pike.
We had the Industrial Revolution, and now we're on to the next one.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? So anything else we can touch on here today? We can talk about anything else?
Oh,
maybe we take a couple of questions from people. They want to ask questions. Maybe Shinobi, you want to answer those. Let's take some questions from the audience. The Circus LA crowd. Let's take some questions from the crowd.
Yeah, I still have about like 15 minutes or so, and then I'm gonna call it quits. It's quite late here. I have to get up at 5:45. So
yeah, we'll wrap it up in about 10 minutes. So let's go, people. What's your questions? All retail investors get out so they can buy up all the cheap crypto, BTC. Any info on MBOT 2.0? Not at this stage, no.
No, not yet. BitConnect
nothing as of yet, Stuart.
Yeah.
You that old, Matt, or what?
Oh, we're not going to talk about
age.
Oh
my god.
No.
We're going to talk about Napster here now too.
Yeah. In bulletin boards, right?
MySpace is like one of the first social medias, man, in the space. I'm wondering, with the ABOT auction, people could buy many ABOTs. Do you think there will be a limit as to how many ABOTs people can have? Interesting question.
I know, and this is totally unrelated to arbitraging, but I know for certain licensing that what they actually can do is, if you have an account, they can link it to your IP, which in the case is okay, you can circumvent that with a VPN. The other thing is, what they can do is you have what they call cookies and sessions. And in order to use the site, you have to enable cookies. So you get cookies placed onto your system. Those cookies have unique identifiers, and they can see if the same person is logging into several accounts. You can go very far with it, and even in log files, you'll be amazed on the information that you can get from a computer from somebody surfing to a website. Google Analytics is a perfect example of it, but you can go much, much further than that. You can get so much information. So I know there's a policy that you can only have, now I'm going back to arbitraging, there's a policy you can only have one account. And if you want to manage other accounts, you can do that with the delegated administrative features that they have. I think it would be interesting to see, on a security point of view, on how they will check if somebody is gaming or misusing that system, to have like several ABOTs, or manipulating the several ABOTs with cross transactions and all that stuff. It would be interesting to see how they would tackle that one. Yeah, I'm sure they will. Just interesting in how.
Interesting. Yeah, I think that's going to be the case. But yeah, yes, I want to touch on one other thing as well, and then maybe we'll wrap this all up. But I think a lot of people have a lot of fear am I going to get a haircut? Is my ABOT going to lose money? Oh, the sky's falling. Oh, the earth is shaking. The quaking is quaking. Oh no, like I'm going to get swallowed up into the hole and then pull the dirt over myself, and it's all doom and gloom. First I want to say to everybody, like, if you're really feeling that, if you're feeling like that, then that kind of gives a little validity to, like, did you game the system? Like, did you really game the system? Like, my personal opinion is I think that arbitraging will go after the people that completely abused ABOT. Jumped in and out, 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 in and out.
Times two.
And just treated at times two, and treated the ABOT like a prostitute, treated the ABOT like a whore. I think this is the kind of people that, I think they're going to be going after. And, people that kind of like truly manipulated the system, for really selfish, self-centered greediness. Also, kind of, there was one guy I heard that had 40,000 and went out of ABOT like 40, 50 times and ended up with a $3 million ABOT.
Jeez.
So it's, this is the kind of thing I think that they're really going to really hit really hard.
Yeah. That's not good for any company, no matter if it's arbitraging or any other. I'll be completely transparent as well. In the early days, there were not those many rules or certain features that would prevent going in and out the ABOT. So yeah, I did get out the ABOT. I got back in, and I also put some tokens on my Ether wallet, actually my Nano Ledger. I had several over there, and then we got into the discussion with David and in the beta testing group about like gaming the bot sustainability and all that stuff. So what I actually did, and all the guys know me and girls know me here for my tracker sheet. There's one part there where you can do your ABOT transactions, and it'll show you the amount of ARP tokens that you used to game the system, if you game the system. And what I did was transfer my Ether wallet back in and just dump them into the ABOT at the external ARP price instead of at the high price, to negate the gaming that or not gaming or playing around that I did in the past, just to make sure that my balance on the amount of tokens that I took out is exactly the same as the amount that I actually bought.
Yeah, that's really good, bro. Really good. I just think, like, like even in the the rise during the block exchange, if you had legitimate tokens that you, and again, this is just my opinion, okay? Please don't think that that I'm giving here is like I got special information. No, this is just simply my opinion. Simply my opinion, okay? So, if you went in, in the block exchange, you had tokens that were your tokens legitimately, and you speculated on the price and rode the price up and then put in, I think you're going to be okay. Don't take it as that's 100%, but I think you're really going to be okay. If you're not really manipulating the system, that's clearly just speculation. That you're just sitting there and you're speculating maybe the price is going to go up this high, So I think people are just overplaying the situation way more than what it is. Like, if you've been good and you stayed in done the right thing and you supported the company and and bought tokens and went in at price points and done the right thing, then you should be okay. But if you know deep down inside that you really played the system, well, then yeah, you do have something to worry about. So if you know that with a clear conscience that you did the right thing, then you should be okay. But if you know that you played the A bot and went in and out like multiple times and just, I think, that you do have something to worry about. But for the average person, I think you'll be okay. I think you're
I agree.
overplaying the whole way too much. Way too much.
Yeah,
but
I agree with that. And it's also, if you start speculating, the speculation becomes speculation, but you speculate on the speculation. It's the same story like they did in kindergarten. They say something to the first kid in their ear and they have to pass it through to like 5, 6, or 7 other kids, and the last kid who tells the story is an entirely different story, which is actually what is happening here right now with the speculation. So I heard this, I heard that, but oh no, is it going to be this, or was it going to be, what did he say again? It's like that. Yeah, if you're on Telegram the entire day or you just read everything, you will notice that it also goes in waves. It's just facts of life.
Yeah, I mean, here's another thing that I like to throw around as well. I think as well, maybe, all this gaming stuff in the future. And if you are listening, David, this is just my little suggestion, is maybe like if people buy tokens at a certain price, then when they want to put them into ABOT, that's the price that you get it out. That's kind of take away the inflation, but that's just an idea. It's not something that they'll probably implement. But I think everybody is looking forward to payouts again. That's definitely something that people are definitely looking forward to, including myself. No more friggin' noodles, man, for everybody.
Or soup.
or soup or tin soup or whatever. I always joke about that around the place, but look, if people buy tokens at $1.50 when you go into ABOT, that's your value. That's what you get. You get your value. You get what you pay for. If you buy them at $5, you put them in ABOT. That's what price they are. If you want to sell them and speculate and wait for the price to go up and sell them, yeah, but not when you're going to ABOT, speculating on the price. That's a different story. You go into ABOT at the price you put your tokens in. That's the price that you get them at. That's the ABOT you get it at.
Yeah, that would be,
and that kind of helps a lot.
It helps. It would be interesting to see what would happen then if, like they say, if you pull out of ABOT, the price you paid for it, or you get the same amount of tokens, or is it based on the ABOT price at that moment? There are all different scenarios that are valid and need to be worked out, and then actually the best solution needs to be put forward.
Yeah, because I mean, it's just an idea, but here's the other thing that people could do is they could wait for the price to go up on their tokens, so sit on the tokens, and then and then sell those tokens and then rebuy more tokens with the ETH that they sold from their tokens, and then use tokens to go into the ABOT, the new ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's a good way of doing it.
Yeah, that would be.
Wait,
Yeah, and we know how people think in crypto, right?
Yeah. Short term. short term.
Yeah.
Usually short term.
Yeah.
If the rate is locked when you go in, the profits should be paid at the same rate. Yeah, that's a good point, Wes, that you make. That's actually a good point.
Yeah.
That's a really good point.
Yeah. That's another scenario. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, these are all just scenarios. They're all just, just ideas to throw around. Doesn't mean that they're exactly what arbitraging is going to do. They're just our thoughts and opinions. That's all they are, really, at the end of the day. But we will see ABOT coming back. It's going to be great. But yeah, man. Hopefully, we can just all move past what's happened in the last 2 months. We can just all get past the events of the last 2 months. We can move on, move forward, and get back to business and get back to our daily profits, and and just make our really great again. So
Yeah.
it's great.
Yeah.
But I'm not trying to be not really trying to saying like it's time to get back to business.
Yeah.
Well, we got to eat, as DT says.
Yeah. And open the floodgates.
Eat. Yes. And this whole live stream's been really good, man. I've really enjoyed this live stream. It's been one of my really good ones. So
yeah, it was. Thanks for having me. It was a lot of fun. Really enjoyed it.
I've loved it. And I've really enjoyed this too. And I'm gonna get you back again, man. And I really want to get you back again in the future, because I think this has just been great, man. It's been great.
Sure. Anytime.
For sure. All righty, man. I'll see you soon anyway. And thanks so much for being here, man. It's just been excellent.
You're very welcome. And have a great day. It's day for you. It's night for me. And everybody in the chat, thanks for being here.
It's Valentine's Day today, so I have to buy my wife some flowers.
Get off the freaking stream and spoil your wife.
Hell no. Bloody commercialized Valentine's Day bullshit.
Oh yeah, I have exactly the same sentiment about it.
Well, actually, today we're gonna take her to the movies today. So
yeah, I'm gonna have a nice dinner with my wife in an Italian restaurant. And I have a little saying about Valentine. A lot of people will disagree with me, but if you can only tell your wife once a year that you love her, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah. Someone said, give my wife some arm.
I already did, so I can't do that anymore.
All right, bro, man. Thanks very much for being here. And yeah, man, we'll catch up. And I'll have you on again soon.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks, man. See you around.
All right. No problem at all. Gotcha, man. Yeah, that was Crypto Shinobi, man. What a great live stream this has been. I've thoroughly enjoyed the stream with him today. It's just been really, really good. I'll definitely get him back again in the future, and we'll do it again. But it's been really, really good. Tomorrow I'll be back again. Tomorrow will be Friday. I am going to be live streaming 5 days a week from here on out. So that's going to be Monday to Friday Australian time. So Monday to Friday will be 5 days a week from here on out. No streams on the weekends. That's my time with my family. But 5 days a week, that's what I'm going to be doing. And I'm going to be getting more guests on, more just different interesting people I'm going to be getting on. I do want to get Climbing Crypto on the stream really soon, so I'm going to be approaching him. If you're listening, Climbing Crypto, I'm going to get you on, bro. And I'm going to get some other people on as well. So it's going to be really good. I've thoroughly enjoyed this stream, tremendously today. It's been just a great stream, for sure. So, all right, guys. Well, thanks all very much for being here today. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm going to go and enjoy my day with my wife bot, and we're going to get out of the house. So catch you real soon, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I don't know who I'll get on tomorrow, but we'll get somebody on. I'm going to do just getting guests on every day. I'm just going to get just different people to come on, and hopefully I'll get Climbing Crypto on tomorrow, or I'm going to get I might get Beaky on tomorrow. We'll see. Charlie Brown. Can't promise that, but we'll see. But I'm going to get different people on. It's going to be good fun. Thank you very much. I appreciate you guys. See you later. And yes, the return of the A-bot is coming, guys. Catch you later. See you tomorrow.